Today we're looking at the Alaska Purchase. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. Alaska became the 49th state added to the United States on January 3rd, 1959. Covering over 665,000 square miles and stretching over 1,400 miles north to south and east to west, it is by far the largest U.S. state. If you were to lay Alaska over top of the lower 48 states, including its outer islands, the state would stretch coast to coast. Alaska is famous for its stunning beauty, including glaciers, mountains, and wildlife. In fact, the name Alaska is based on the word Alyeska, used by the Aleut people meaning great land. But how did this great land, overflowing with natural beauty, become part of the United States? Alaska was originally settled by native people such as the Inupiaq, the Yupiks, the Aleuts, and the Athabascans, among many others. But in the early 1740s, Russian explorers first began venturing into Alaska and claiming the territory. Soon after, Russian fur traders and trappers began moving into the region in pursuit of fur-bearing animals such as sea otters, fox, and bears. In 1784, the Three Saints Bay colony was established by the Russians on Kodiak Island as the first permanent Russian trading post in Alaska. But by the mid-1800s, Russia realized it was expensive to maintain settlements in Alaska, with it being so far from their other territories. Additionally, Russia had been plunged deeply into debt as a result of the Crimean War, lasting from 1853 to 1856. In the wake of the conflict, Russians feared that Britain, one of their opponents during the war, might try to take over Alaskan territories. In the early 1860s, Russian representatives approached the United States with an offer to sell the territory to them. However, the United States was in the midst of the Civil War and had no interest in purchasing the territory at a time when they were trying to keep the Union together. After the Civil War came to an end in 1865, the United States began to consider the idea of purchasing Alaska. Tsar Alexander II of Russia instructed the Russian minister to the United States, Baron Edouard de Stokel, to begin negotiations with the Americans for the purchase of the territory. William Seward, the Secretary of State at the time, saw Alaska as an opportunity, seeing the possibility of acquiring resources from Alaska such as gold and fish. He believed Alaska would be a valuable addition to the growing nation. On March 29, 1867, Seward and Stokel signed the Treaty of Cession, in which the United States agreed to pay $7.2 million for the territory of Alaska. With over 600,000 square miles of land, the deal came out to about 2 cents per acre. The treaty was then sent to the U.S. Senate for final approval, which it received on April 9th of 1867, making the deal final. 6 months later, on October 18, 1867, American and Russian troops met at Castle Hill in Sitka, Alaska, for the formal transfer of the territory. At the ceremony, the Russian flag was lowered and the American flag was raised to signify the territory now being in the possession of the United States government. Many Americans thought the entire purchase was a crazy idea. Newspapers called it Seward's folly or Seward's icebox. Others called it, quote, his polar bear garden. Many believed that Alaska was nothing but a frozen wasteland and the U.S. had wasted its money. In fact, William Seward would pass away in 1872, had to live the remainder of his life with ridicule and judgment for the purchase. But Seward would be vindicated as in 1880 gold was discovered in the Silver Bow Basin of Alaska. This set off the Alaskan gold rush as thousands of Americans headed to the region to strike it rich. As more Americans came to the territory, they realized the region was rich with so much more, with natural resources such as timber, oil, and fish. Today, Alaska is an economic powerhouse, producing over $60 billion in goods and services each year for the United States. Beyond economic advantages, the purchase of Alaska also expanded America's territory and influence. It gave the United States a foothold in the Pacific, which would become crucial in the years to come. Alaska's strategic location would later prove vital during World War II and the Cold War. The Alaska Purchase was a bold move that paid off in more ways than one. It transformed a remote wilderness into a thriving state and helped shape the course of American history. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.